Back in the, yeah. Tell them to watch it. Now I ain't talking my pockets. Just know we ain't running out the way that we stock it. If I got it, you got it.
Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi, welcome. My name is Monica, and if you're a returning subscriber, hey babe, thank you once again for gracing us with your presence, and that's on period. Before I say anything, before I get into this juicy video slash story time, let me, from the bottom of the crevices of my heart, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. Thank you. And it's upwards from here on. Like, please do not forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free on this YouTube thingy. It's free. Subscribe, comment, continue sharing my videos, continue engaging, and let's grow as a family. So without wasting any time, let's get into this story time. Okay, so I have my precious baby here with the notes. I am filming dilemmas I faced as an EPIK teacher. Right. So the first thing is a disclaimer, because you know that we have disclaimers in this house. My first disclaimer is know very well that as an EPIK teacher, because I'm speaking from my experience, you will sign a lot of things not knowing what you're signing. No explanations. They'll bring a paper written in Korean. Please sign this. Quick sign. And they will find you, ne? They will find you busy. They know that they will come to you busy. So in this story time, I'm going to name my co-teacher Cruella. I know it's bad. Like, Cruella doesn't have a good reputation, and so does she. So yeah, before I left, they made me sign a pledge. I pledged not to speak ill of my fellow colleagues, former colleagues, of which I don't have anything to say about them. Like, I don't have anything bad because I didn't deal with them day to day. And another thing, in EPIK, right, you might have 2 or more schools. So in my main school, I had a main co-teacher who was also an English teacher. She didn't teach any other subjects, or she wasn't a homeroom teacher, right? So she was my main co-teacher, and she was an English teacher. So her job, when I was at the school, she was also at that school. When I wasn't, she was at another school, but she's Korean, right? And at my second school, I had co-teachers. There was one main co-teacher who was the fifth grade homeroom teacher, but then the other co-teachers were homeroom teachers, right? They weren't in charge of me. They would just come to class and would have an agreement that, okay, these are your duties and these are my duties. So there weren't any blurred lines, right? So my first mistake with her, my Cruella, was that we didn't establish our duties in time. And when I say in time, I mean in time, because those were supposed to be done when I arrived there. It was my first time being a teacher, right? I didn't know anything. Like, my life was basically in her hands, Cruella's hands. And yeah. So when I got there, she was like, oh, you can relax. Like, and mind you, at that, if you watch my videos, guys, I was going through a lot, but you guys didn't see it. My hairline explained it. My hairline, I was going through a lot. So at that time, I needed the support. And she was there, she was there, explaining. And the thing is, I had put my daughter as my wallpaper, right? So she asked me who that was. That was my first mistake. I don't hide my child. I don't hide the fact that I have a child. You get it. But with her, it's like, oh, it's my child. And mind you, last year I was 25. She's like, you're too young to have a child. Too young to have a child at 25. Do you know how many people in South Africa have babies at the age of 25? It's their fifth born. And now you're judging me for having a child at an early age. I'm a graduate at that. I was working before I came here. I came abroad, you're calling me a child. That's besides the point. And here, having a child out of wedlock is a taboo. They asked me where my husband was, and that was the thing. I didn't correct them because already I was being judged. So was I gonna be judged again for not being with the father of my child? Like, no, I wasn't. I let them run with that. They knew that he was my husband. So Cruella ran with that narrative of, oh, Monica misses her child. Monica is so... She used that every time I would sit alone, she would use that as an excuse. I'll tell you later on why. So I signed a pledge to not speak ill of my colleagues, of which I'm not going to do that. Even her, God bless her wherever she is, even her, I'm not going to speak ill of her, right? And one thing I've realized is that your co-teacher can make or break your experience here in South Korea, because they are literally in charge of everything that has to do with you. Documentation, communication, especially in my case, my principal, my vice principal couldn't speak English. So whatever she said, they took it. Whatever she said, they took it. So that can be negative and it can be positive in a case where you're dealing with someone who has pure intentions to get it. So as what time went by, she would do this thing of, I prepare for lessons, I would come to class, she would teach every lesson of that day. So whatever I did, my preparations were in vain. And mind you, whatever I prepared, we're not going to use it the next day because it has already passed. And she would do that for 2 to 3 days consecutively. So, and I would start to chill out. Or, oh, maybe she needs me for translating English words. Not that, because most classes in EPIK, they teach English in Korean. So that defeats the whole purpose of the kids studying English or getting to know English. Already their English level is so low because the students in the rural areas, most of them or all of them do not attend Hagwons. Do you get it? So I would chill, and then she would teach. The next time she'll be like, oh, Monica, your turn. Mind you, that time, fuck all, the textbook, it's in English and Korean. Some things are in Korean. Guys. And it was the constant sabotages that I didn't see because I was naive. She would throw me under the damn bus every chance she got. And mind you, like, the principal would come and check if the classes are being conducted well and everything. And guys, I tried. I honestly tried with that woman. I came to a point where I was like, no man, I also need to let her stop treating me like a child, which is the next thing that I'm gonna get into. You are constantly being treated like a child. Oh, have you eaten? Oh, do you eat at your place? Like, how do you think I survive? Oh, you're not okay. They even decide feelings for you. Like, what are you doing during the weekend? And that time you cannot even tell them about your excursions, because if on Monday you tell them the previous Friday that you're going somewhere and on Monday you cannot make it to work, they'll assume that you're out partying or you drink and everything. Because when you go out on dinners, they These people drink. If you think South Africans are drunkards, we are like this with them. We are like this with them. And I loved my alcohol. I'm saying loved because I haven't touched alcohol since December, and we're getting somewhere. But sizophuza in the next 2 weeks. But it's something else. All I'm saying is that they drink regardless. You go out on work dinners on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday, tomorrow you're coming to work, you will drink. So every time I would reject gracefully, be like, oh no, I'm fine. Tomorrow I'm going to work. So kinchana. I don't want your alcohol because I don't want to be, oh, that girl drinks a lot. And I soju is that, soju will slow poison. You'll drink soju when you stand up. So I don't want them to see me like that because that was not my Zoom. Do you get it? So I would keep chill. And mind you, majority of the teachers do not speak English, cannot speak English. So what will I be saying to them? So I would used to be alone in my, after teaching, I would literally go to the library or go outside to be on my phone, FaceTime or something. Cruella, would assume that I am lonely. Hey, I cannot take this. I am missing my child. And of course, when she came to ask me, are you missing your child? Yeah, I am. Duh. It's every mother's instinct, or it's in everyone's nature. I miss my family. I am so far away from 12,000 kilometers, bruh. How would you think? What do you take me for, huh? No, but she would assume and go back there to the principal. Oh, Monica is not coping. She misses her child. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Ciao. So the other thing is being treated like a child. I hated it because they would make decisions on your behalf. They would come and tell you what to do. If they're going on trips, they used to do this thing of booking on a Friday, going to sleep somewhere and coming back on a Saturday. Why would I eat kimchi from Monday to Friday and I would eat kimchi Friday going to Saturday? No. And that's besides the point. Kimchi is not the point here. I'm going on an overnight trip with people who do not speak English, people who do not think about what you like to eat, because what we eat and what they eat is not the same thing. You find that you going out, they're going to eat octopus meat, and when you want real meat, and guys. So I would always reject those, and they'd see me coming to work on a Friday with my suitcase because that was what I was known for. So I somewhat created that thing, Yuri. I do not want to be with you guys. So they thought and they took it like that. And guys, sorry. And in as much as I'm coming to my next point, in as much as they try and be inclusive, you'll never feel like you're one of them. Guys, that's what you will deal with here. You will... Guys, I used to be in the teacher's room, right? Teacher's office. That was where my office was. We would have after lunch, they would come and drink coffee. When people speak gibberish. And I know from another person's standing point is I would better my Korean or try to learn Korean, right? So that my experience can be better, of which I can hear some of the things that are being said or were being said, but most of the time it's and you're trying to work and they would come. My screen was like this, my computer screen was like this, right? They would come, oh, what are you doing? Zero privacy. Yo, what are you watching? And one thing about me, if I finished prepping for work for tomorrow or the day after that, I would watch YouTube. What do you expect me to do with my time? And it's not like, Luena, when you're finished doing or working, you are working until. When you're finished, you're finished. Until is they finished 2.0? There's nothing like that. So me, I do not even pretend like I was working. So that was another thing, like, yo, Cruella. And it came, the year flew by. She would do this thing of whenever there was something needed from my end, she would tell me in advance, of which it's rare. That's one thing there's something called Korean surprise. They'll tell you the morning of, you need to submit something. So with her, you used to tell me like before, way in advance. Or, oh, Monica, like, this is what is needed from you, right? And I would do it. I would submit it to her. She'd tell me that it's okay. Day before, oh, I was thinking, can we please change? More especially if it came to open classes that parents and the teachers are coming. She'd be like, oh, let's change this, let's do this, let's do that. And in all honesty, me, I don't like things that cause me a headache. Like, I don't want a headache. I would say, okay. And I would quickly change it, take it to her, and we'll run with whatever she wants because she's the main co-teacher, do you get it? And she has 10 years experience. That time she's behaving like my mom at that point. And she would ask me how old my dad is. Is that your business? Sorry. So she would ask me how old my dad was so that she can gauge the level of respect she's going to give me. And Pella, me, I'm a picking. I was half her age at that point. I was half her age, obviously, and I was the youngest teacher. I still am, I think. So I was constantly being treated like a child. And there came a point where it was time to renew my contract. And this is where, ta-da, I'm going to tell you. So they present a contract. She asked me, well, before, oh, are you going back to South Africa? And she used to ask me that a lot. Are you going back to South Africa? When are you going back to South Africa? Hey, don't you think Victoria needs someone, her mom in her life, what? I'd be like, my child is fine. Like, my child is fine. And how is that your business? Do you get it? But I didn't think it was going to affect my stay at that school because I honestly, both my schools, my learners were not a lot. Both my schools were okay. I loved them. Like, especially my second school, I loved that school. Like, the kids, I love it. And it took time for me to like form rapport with those students because one, I was different. They've never seen a black person. And one thing Cruella used to do is compare me and contrast me with the previous teacher who was American. And that's one thing you'll face here as an EPIK teacher. In as much as we would like to like downplay this or do not want to talk about it, but that's just the reality of it. Like, South Africans are deemed close to nothing. We constantly have to fight for our spots everywhere. Americans, they prefer American English. They prefer Americans. But when it comes to EPIK, they don't have a choice. So they are stuck with us. Do you get it? So the previous teacher who was there was American. She was a well-articulated lady according to the sources. Okay? Not just Cruella, the other teachers that used to stay in my building. So, and she could speak Korean. Voila! And come me. Poor child from Messina. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. I don't know Korean. I'm South African. I'm black. So, that alone. When it came to treatment, I need to sit still. when it came to treatment, it wasn't going to be the same. Like Cruella used to compare, oh, this and this did that. This girl did that. That girl did that. Oh, but she did this way. I'm like, if she wanted to, she would have been here. Now I am here, and me, I'm not her. My name is Monica, so deal with it. And me, I like my own time. In as much as I'm always with my friends, I also like my own time outside of work. Do you get it? So me being like this with Cruella, it wasn't gonna work. And one thing you should never do with all in your life, keep your personal life to yourself. In as much, keep your mouth closed. Keep it closed, like, because they'll use it against you. They will. Oh, what did you do? Hey, I went to Pyeongtaek. Hey, I grooved it at all lounge. Hey, I did. Keep it to yourself. Not that I told her. No, she didn't know that I actually grooved. No. She didn't know that I was a groovist. None whatsoever. But I would tell her about my child. I told her about my child. That's one thing I didn't need to do. Because when it came to her, remember she asked me that, do you want to renew? And I said yes. Because I loved my schools. She asked me, oh, have you thought about renewing? Yeah, I have, actually. And I am going to do it. So Cruella went. That is what I found out later. She went and told the principal that Monica is not renewing her contract. And she came to me and told me that the school doesn't want to renew with me. And I was like, Njani, like, how? The school, how? But she gave me this reason. In our culture, meaning Cruella's culture, they do not believe that women or children should grow up without their mothers in their lives. I'm like, but most of your kids here, they stay with their grandparents and their parents are in other cities working or they are abroad. Who says that? That's what she told me. But no, we do not believe. I'm like, Cruella. One thing about you, don't mind your own business. But when they told me about that, guys, I was shattered. I don't want to lie. And how I found out was she was speaking to the other teacher, right? And then the teacher speaks English. She came to me and told me. I was like, I don't want to renew. And she would ask me, oh, hey, have you found good news about your new job? I'm like, you think I'm going to tell you that I found a job? And mind you, the time she told me, I started looking for jobs. And I was like, from now on, I'm going to keep this back quiet. Because it was used against me. Guys, I even went to South Africa during my vacation. And my thing was, I wanted to take leave until my contract ends so that I mustn't come back to Sochon. The reason I went back there is because Cruella was like, oh, you have to come to work on your last day, the last day of your contract, because you need to arrange your monetary things. Since when do I deal with money? Am I the admin officer? And since it's starting off my contract, I've never dealt with money. Why do you want me? She was, even in the morning of my last day, she came and asked, Monica, is Monica here? She came, oh, you're here. I was there and I was coming from South Africa. She didn't even know that I even went to South Africa. I didn't tell her, because why do you want to know? But my new school knew, because if in case something happened, I needed to alert them. That the other ones, I didn't care. But she came, she was asking me, she was here. Good news about your school. No, I didn't tell her. Good news. I even left Sochon. She even came on the last day of me moving out. She came and asked me, still, have you found? I'm like, no, I'm going to squat there with my friend. Where? Suwon. I don't have a friend that stays in Suwon. I told her that I was going to Suwon because she doesn't mind her own business. She doesn't. She knew that I was going to Suwon. Kanti, I was coming to Wonju. The only time I think she found out where I was working was because my new school needed my tax papers from that school. So obviously they had to call them and tell them that Monica's documents are needed from this and this and this school in Wanju. So that's how immediately when I got my money, I blocked her. Because why? And like, in all honesty, guys, not all co-teachers are bad, but you need to be wakker. You need to be awake. Because guys, you'll go through it. You will, Cruella. Which is why right now I'm saying God bless her. Like, wherever she is, she must be blessed. Because that woman, guys, at some point I didn't even feel like going to work. That's how discouraged I was. I felt redundant because she was purposely making me be redundant at that school. So, guys, Niveni safe, guys. Niveni safe because, but I believe that happened for a reason, which is why I'm here. I'm not in Cruella's hands anymore, thank God. But nonetheless, that sums up our video. And if you liked this and this was helpful to you, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends. Comment down below what you think of Cruella. And if you are in South Korea and you've faced such, whether in EPIK or Hagwon, please, let's engage in the comments. And in all honesty, you guys must be the judge of it. In case Cruella sees this video and she wants to sue me, did I say anything bad about her? But me, I didn't. But they made me sign a pledge. And hey, before I finish, they made me sign this other video a paper that I'm not receiving funds or any money from the parents. I was like, Njani, Kanti, is that a thing here? Because I know people in Hagwons, they receive like small nyana gifts from parents. Because here, 30,000 won downwards should be the price of that gift. Money, obsoyo, nothing. You mustn't receive money. But nonetheless, let me stop stalling and love and leave you guys from me to you. Until next time.
Back in that bag again. Whoa, yeah, yeah.